Something I've really been enjoying over the last couple of months is like physical media, and my latest version and trying to attempt at that is by having like my first ever bullet journal. Bullet journaling has been around for years, and in fact I haven't even been able to keep up with like a singular diary until the first time last year, so much so that I did get a second one. And granted, this wasn't really like a bullet journal, this was just like a standard diary with like a week to a page and like a couple of notes, but I wrote down things like my goals for the year, even I guess like my social stats, so I could keep on track of that for just like my channels and things like that. And it has been incredibly amazing, and there are so many other things that I really want to document and just write down. Like I've really been enjoying writing things and tracking things, so this year I decided I'm gonna give bullet journaling a crack. I've seen a ton of videos on TikTok and Instagram and even YouTube recently about different bullet journaling. I even went down Pinterest and was looking for a ton of ideas, and I just love how endless the possibilities are. And also I really loved the scrapbooking aspect of it. I specifically saw this in a lot of people's like book and reading journals. Now I've definitely gotten back into reading recently, and that is something that I really hope to upkeep in the new year, so I'm kind of incorporating that a little bit into it too. So today I really wanted to give you a walk through what I've done with my bullet journal. There's not really a lot of like, I guess, completed stuff to show you, and I also figured that I can't go too overboard or overthink it, because then I'm just gonna give up. So my goal is to continue going with this, especially since I did actually invest quite a little bit of money into it. Now this journal in particular is nothing special. It was just like a $13 bullet journal. It's like 240 pages, has a little bookmark, but I have been, so far at least, having a really great time with it. Even though this was my first proper journal, I had a few ideas of things that I really wanted to include. The first being my 2024 goals. I love setting goals. It's one of my favorite things to do in that weird period between Christmas and New Year's, and I love writing them all down so that I can look back on them later and see how I went. For this year, I divided it up into two sections based off a page that I saw on Pinterest. So I've got my personal goals and then my career goals. Now, since this book is empty, I really wanted to take advantage and make a vision board. I love going through my Pinterest board and just seeing all of the things and kind of just having this ideal life that you kind of want to live. So I really wanted to incorporate that into the journal by finding images based off some of the goals that I have set myself for this year. Stolen off a lot of the book channels, I ended up incorporating a yearly to be read kind of page. However, I'm not really sure of that many books right now, so at least at the moment it's not even half full, but I plan on adding to this throughout the year as I learn about more books and hear about things. Probably one of my favorite pages though out of this entire journal is my little bookshelf. Now this is very, very heavily inspired, if not directly ripped from Pinterest. Alongside the goals spread, I really wanted to have a month to a year kind of video planner spread, since in my diary that is all just for like general type of life things, whereas I really wanted to incorporate a lot of my video ideas so I can see them a lot more easily than just the notes page that I have on my laptop. And using some color-coded sticky notes, I wrote down every single video and thing that I had currently thought of and planned on the dates that ideally I will be uploading them. And the third most important spread for me to incorporate was some sort of workout or fitness page. Now, one thing that I had seen quite a lot is like the year in pixels fitness, but that just seemed a little too intense, and I'd rather have a bit more of an in-depth breakdown of what I've actually been doing. Since unfortunately this diary's paper is quite thin, a lot of the markers I have found are bleeding through my pages. So one thing that I am really trying to incorporate a lot of is kind of scrapbooking and like junk journaling by using a bunch of washi tape and pieces of paper. I think layers and color schemes and all of that just make this feel so much more fun and look way cooler. So let me talk you through my journal. Now, one thing that was quite helpful with this one in particular that I bought is that there was like an index, so I could enter basically and categorize all of my different months of the year. So I started off by stealing some inspiration off Pinterest to make this 2024 little title card page, and then there's just first one I've left empty. Now this is complete with a little like paper vision board. I just cut out a bunch of photos that I found online and stuck them all on there to give myself a visual representation of like things I really want to achieve, vibes I want to achieve, as well as just like categorizing my goals into personal and career. I mean, I have a lot of career goals that all revolved around basically like social channels and things that I want to achieve. In fact, there's probably way more that I could put on here. However, I just ended up filling up a single page. Next up is just like a general overview fitness page. The next up are all of my reading ones. The first one, I was really inspired by a lot of like book channels. I've been really enjoying watching Haley Pham's videos recently. I've really been enjoying listening to her takes on books because I really don't know where to start with books for the most part. And since I've always kind of enjoyed her content, it felt like a really good place to start. And one thing that I noticed when she was kind of talking about her reading journal is that there's this thing called basically like a yearly TBR, and TBR means to be read. So I did like a a yearly one based of all of the books that I want to read. So far, there's only 4. And then because I don't really know where to start, I left a space for book recommendations, basically anything that I hear that sounds interesting, because I have not been keeping track of them, which means when I go into a bookstore, I don't really know where to start. And then the following page, another thing I saw from those like reading journal videos was tracking your series basically. But then I printed out some photos of the book covers for my like reading wish list, which basically is the same thing as the last page. I just didn't really know what else to do. So I just stuck some of them out to really have that like visual representation, including the illustrated versions of Harry Potter, because after I put out an Instagram story, everyone convinced me and I do really want to buy those. And then this books I've read page, I basically ripped straight from Pinterest. I plagiarized it. I really like the design of it though. And then as I go, I'm just gonna fill in the titles of each book and color them in, and that's all good. And that leads us to January. The first thing I really wanted to do was have like a month to a view. Like that's one of the best things about my actual diary. But this one in particular, I wanted to be for videos, because I don't write my videos down in my actual diary. Like that's more for like holidays and birthdays. So I wanted to have a space where I could document all of my videos. Now I've been really good over the last couple of weeks with my workouts and really been enjoying them. So I drew up the calendar basically, and every single box is going to be color coded with a different workout depending on what I did that day. And then next to it, I've left this little exercise log. So if I like hit a new PR or I run or walk a certain amount of kilometers, I can keep track of that, and I'll just steal the data basically from my Apple Watch app and write it in here. And then the last thing I did is a sets build page. I wish I thought of this earlier and did one in kind of like their yearly overview, because I feel like that would be a little bit more impressive. But I basically just wanted to document like all of the Lego sets that I've built, or even some stuff that I've bought. I guess even MOCs would go in here, and my plan is to like print out photos of the box art and then stick it in here. Maybe even like do a ranking or something. Some of the other pages I really want to do is like a watch list and document the types of movies and TV shows by printing out the little posters and writing that down. And then I guess I could also just do some like general journaling. Like this book is massive and I have so much space to fill things in, but really that is all I've done so far, and I have been having the best time with it. Like I would just sit and I would journal and I would listen to the audiobook of The Hunger Games, and it has been an absolute blast. I want to try and keep myself accountable, so I figured I would make this video and also just like talk you through it and talk you through my game plan. I've been doing a lot of just kind of planning and prepping, and I've been having a lot of fun with it just over Christmas, and just really taking some time to sit and I guess like reset what I want to do for 2024. I want to keep up that attitude as well throughout the entirety of January, and rather than forcing myself to do a lot of stuff, like I really want to focus on just kind of settling on exactly what videos I want to make, how I want my content to look, and all that stuff, because over the last couple of months, like that has been like a massive, like I guess like thought and burden in terms of like what I think about at night. So thank you for joining me as I set up my bullet journal for 2024, and please let me know what your goals are for the year down in the comments below. But until next time guys, I'll see you later.